That morning coffee you trust might be slowly poisoning you with hidden toxins, and the premium brand you're paying double for? It's literally the same beans as the discount version, just dressed up in fancy packaging to fool you. What if the organic label you're spending extra money on is actually a complete lie? Every morning, millions of Canadians reach for their favorite coffee brand, trusting the smiling logos and wholesome marketing on those familiar red and white packages. But what if I told you that some of Canada's most beloved coffee brands are hiding secrets that would make you spit out your morning cup? This isn't about being a coffee snob or nitpicking minor details. This is about real problems affecting your health, your wallet, and your right to know what you're actually drinking. Let's start with two names you'll definitely recognize. Two brands that have been in Canadian kitchens for decades. Brands your parents probably bought. Brands you see in every grocery store. From Vancouver to Halifax. The first brand we need to expose is Maxwell House. It's a breakfast table staple that millions trust without question. The second problem brand is Nabob, marketed as a premium choice worth the extra money. But the truth behind these familiar red cans and sleek packaging might shock you. When you open a fresh container of Maxwell House, you might notice something odd if you're paying attention. The aroma isn't rich and complex like fresh coffee should be. It's flat, one-dimensional, almost chemically uniform. That's because what you're smelling isn't really the natural oils and compounds from carefully roasted beans. Independent laboratory tests have revealed that many mass-market Canadian coffee brands use beans that have been sitting in warehouses for months, sometimes over a year, losing their natural volatile compounds and developing stale, oxidized flavors. To mask this staleness, manufacturers use artificial flavoring agents and processing tricks that technically don't need to be disclosed on the label. The beans themselves often come from the lowest grade available, the stuff that specialty roasters reject. You're getting the bottom of the barrel, literally, dressed up to seem like a reliable morning staple. Now let's talk about Nabob. This brand positions itself as a premium option, charging nearly double what budget brands cost. Walk down any Canadian grocery aisle, and you'll see it prominently displayed, often at eye level, with packaging that screams quality and authenticity. But here's what they don't tell you in those slick commercials. Recent investigations have found that despite the premium pricing, many of these beans come from the exact same bulk suppliers as the budget brands. You're paying for marketing, for attractive packaging, for the perception of quality, but not for actual superior coffee. Blind taste tests conducted by consumer advocacy groups showed that trained tasters and average consumers alike couldn't distinguish Nabob from offerings costing half the price. Even more concerning, chemical analysis revealed nearly identical profiles in terms of antioxidant content, caffeine levels, and flavor compounds compared to cheaper alternatives. The company spends millions on advertising, on creating an image of craftsmanship and care, but the reality is you're being sold an illusion. The markup isn't going toward better beans, better roasting, or better quality control. It's funding those commercials you see during hockey night in Canada, those sponsorship deals, those celebrity endorsements. Meanwhile, the actual product in your cup is remarkably similar to what you'd get from the discount brand sitting 3 shelves down. Both Maxwell House and Nabob represent a fundamental betrayal of consumer trust. They rely on decades of brand recognition, on nostalgia, on the assumption that Canadians won't question what they've always bought. But once you know the truth, once you understand how these companies prioritize profits over quality, it becomes impossible to justify keeping them in your kitchen. Now let's escalate this investigation and look at 2 more household names, brands that have carved out specific niches in the Canadian market with very particular marketing angles. The third brand we need to examine is Folgers. It has built its entire identity around convenience and speed, marketing itself as the perfect solution for busy Canadian families. You've seen the ads showing happy families rushing through their mornings, grabbing a quick cup before heading to work or school. The packaging features mountains, pristine lakes, imagery that evokes Canadian wilderness and purity. But let me tell you what's really happening behind those scenic labels. Folgers uses a specific type of processing that strips away nearly all the natural oils and aromatic compounds that make coffee actually taste like coffee. The result is a product that's incredibly shelf-stable, that can sit in your pantry for years without technically going bad, but also a product that bears little resemblance to what coffee should be. Food scientists who've analyzed these products note that they often contain added ingredients to compensate for what's been stripped away during processing. We're talking about things like maltodextrin as a bulking agent, silicon dioxide as an anti-caking agent, and undisclosed natural and artificial flavors to give it something resembling coffee taste. None of this is necessarily unsafe in small amounts, but it raises a crucial question. Are you buying coffee, or are you buying a coffee-flavored manufactured product? The fourth brand targets a different demographic entirely. Kicking Horse Coffee positions itself as the sophisticated choice for discerning coffee drinkers. The packaging is elegant, minimalist, often featuring terms like artisanal, small batch, or carefully selected. The price point is high, creating the perception that you're getting something truly special, something far removed from mass market offerings. But independent investigations into the supply chain tell a very different story. Despite claims of careful sourcing and quality control, there have been questions about consistency and whether every bag truly delivers on the premium promises. The beans that arrive sometimes show variation in quality that wouldn't happen with truly rigorous selection processes. The deception here is particularly troubling because consumers who choose this brand are actively trying to make better choices, trying to support what they believe is a higher standard of quality. Instead, they may be paying premium prices for inconsistency, dressed up in fancy packaging and marketing language designed to exploit their desire for something better. Let's go even deeper now and examine two more well-known Canadian coffee brands. And here's where the problems shift from mere deception about quality to actual health concerns that independent researchers have documented. The fifth brand we need to discuss is Tim Hortons Coffee. It's everywhere in Canada. You'll find it in hotel rooms, office break rooms, drive-thrus on every corner, and probably in your own kitchen right now, as the retail bags they sell in grocery stores. It's become so ubiquitous that many Canadians don't even think about it anymore. It's just there, a constant presence, familiar as the maple leaf. But recent independent laboratory testing has revealed something disturbing about this omnipresent brand. Samples tested by food safety laboratories showed detectable levels of ochratoxin A, a mycotoxin produced by certain molds that can develop on coffee beans during improper storage or processing. While the levels detected were below the legal limits established by Health Canada, the fact that this toxin appears consistently across multiple batches raises serious questions about quality control and storage practices. Ochratoxin A is a known kidney toxin and possible carcinogen. Yes, the amounts in your morning coffee are small, but coffee drinkers consume multiple cups per day, every single day, year after year. That chronic low-level exposure adds up. More expensive brands with stricter quality control protocols consistently show zero detectable levels of this toxin. So why does this brand, one of Canada's biggest and most profitable coffee companies, consistently show measurable amounts? The answer lies in cost-cutting measures throughout the supply chain. The sixth brand takes us into different territory, but equally concerning. President's Choice Organics Coffee has aggressively marketed itself as a healthier option, using terms like organic, natural, and pure throughout its packaging and advertising. Canadian consumers who are health conscious, who read labels and care about what goes into their bodies, often choose this brand, believing they're making a responsible decision. But testing by Consumer Protection Agencies has revealed questions about consistency in organic standards across different production batches. In several spot checks, there have been concerns about whether every bag meets the strict standards consumers expect when they pay premium prices for organic certification. When buying organic coffee, you deserve absolute certainty that you're getting what you paid for, not a product with questionable verification processes. But after all this bad news, let me give you some genuine hope and solutions. There are Canadian coffee brands that actually deliver on their promises, that prioritize quality and transparency, that treat their customers with respect rather than seeing them as marks to be exploited. Let me tell you about 3 brands that have earned their reputations through actual quality rather than marketing deception. The first trustworthy brand is Canterbury Coffee. This is a Canadian company that's been operating with a single-minded focus on freshness and quality. They roast in small batches, never in massive industrial quantities, and they date every bag with the exact roast date, not some vague best before date that could mean the beans sat in a warehouse for months. When you open one of their bags, the aroma hits you immediately, rich and complex and unmistakably fresh. They source their beans directly from farmers, maintaining relationships that span years, ensuring fair prices and consistent quality. They publish detailed information about every origin, every processing method, every step from farm to cup. This transparency costs them something. It means smaller profit margins, more labor-intensive processes, more expensive logistics. But it also means that when you buy their coffee, you're getting exactly what you're paying for. No mystery ingredients, no bulk bin beans with fancy packaging, no marketing smoke and mirrors. Just honest, high-quality coffee. The second trustworthy brand is Ethical Bean Coffee. They take a different approach, but with equal integrity. They focus on organic and fair trade certification, but unlike the deceptive brands we discussed earlier, they maintain complete supply chain transparency with third-party verification you can actually trust. They work with independent auditors who regularly inspect every step of their process, from the farms where beans are grown to the roasting facilities to the packaging plants. They welcome scrutiny because they have nothing to hide. Their beans consistently test clean for any contaminants, pesticides, or mycotoxins. Yes, they cost more than mass market brands, but the price reflects real quality, real ethical sourcing, and real investment in doing things right. They also provide detailed brewing guides and customer support, treating coffee as a craft rather than just a commodity to be sold as cheaply as possible. The third and final brand I recommend is 49th Parallel Coffee Roasters. They represent the gold standard of Canadian coffee. They've won international awards, not through marketing campaigns, but through blind taste competitions judged by experts. They invest heavily in relationships with farmers, in sustainable agriculture practices, in advanced roasting technology that preserves the unique characteristics of each bean variety. Their team includes certified Q graders, professionals trained to evaluate coffee quality using standardized protocols. Every batch is cupped and evaluated before it goes to market. They reject beans that don't meet their standards, even when it costs them money, because their reputation depends on consistency and excellence. When you buy from them, you're not just getting great coffee. You're supporting a business model that proves quality, and ethics can coexist with profitability. So what should you do with this information? First, check your kitchen right now and see which brands you're currently buying. If they're among the ones I've exposed today, seriously consider making a change. Your health and your hard-earned money deserve better. Second, share this video with every coffee drinker you know. Knowledge is power. And the more Canadians understand what they're really buying, the more pressure there will be on these companies to improve their practices. Third, vote with your wallet. Support the brands doing things right, even if it costs a bit more. Quality costs money, and when you pay for real quality, you're investing in your health and in businesses that respect their customers. Drop a comment below telling me which brands you're cutting out and which you'll be trying. Subscribe if you want more investigations like this, exposing what the food industry doesn't want you to know. Hit that notification bell because I've got more shocking revelations coming about other everyday products sitting in your pantry right now. The truth is out there, but only if we're willing to look for it and demand better. Are you ready to make that change?